Gosh. Happy New Year, everyone. And heard my son scream. I did. It was because I asked him to be quiet and close the door. Just yelled, I did right as we went on. Um, Happy New Year. Let me mute myself over here. Yeah, I was just saying how I just texted my son and was like, close the door, be quiet. And he was like, I did extremely loud, but my mic wasn't on, so that was a useless story. But at any rate, we are here to go over the biggest moments in 2024. A lot of these moments are moments that I reported on my channels, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, depending on where you have found me. And others were just really notable moments that took place throughout the year. And I was just thinking, like, wow, we've come a long way. We've been through some things, y'all. And I just wanted to come up with a list of just some pivotal moments, some funny moments, some really lighthearted moments, some not so lighthearted moments to share with you and to kind of wrap up 2024 and fully embrace 2025, right? So I hope that you enjoy this. And if you have any moments that you would like to share as well, put them out there in the chat. If you're a part of the folks that join us during the replay, you can put them in the comments. With that being said, what did they say about 2024? Well, they said it was the year of truth. That's what they said it was. And I believe them. I do. I think that's exactly what we got out of 2024. It was a lot of truth and more than I think a lot of us even realized, right? It was crazy. Cat Williams set the internet ablaze when he appeared on Club Shay, and he had a ton of unfiltered revelations. Um, Between that and exposing the industry as we knew it, telling secrets, honey. Okay, it was a masterclass of, I would say, unhinged, chaotic material, but Cat pulled it off. It also catapulted, I think, Club Shay into being one of the premier um, shows, talk shows, podcasts, whatever you want to call it. And it really set him up for a very successful year. I think if anybody was unsure about who Cat Williams I think we were all on the same page. One thing we also noticed with this story, this was a story that went mainstream. Although Shannon Sharpe is, well celebrated by other folks because of football and the audience that he had on ESPN. I don't think a lot of people were checking for Shannon once he moved into this space. Not to say that he wasn't popular. I'm just saying I don't think a lot of people were really supporting the move. But I think this interview really locked it in. Like, this was a good look for him to start his own show. But on top of that, I want to say this. I have multiple internet accounts. And so some of my accounts, I see all black, centric content. Sometimes I see mainstream content. When I tell you this story dominated everybody's feed, that doesn't happen. That does not happen. I'm telling you. So when I looked at this, I was like, this is global. Like, this is a really big deal. A big deal for Shannon, a huge deal for Cat Williams. For people who have ever said that Cat Williams was blackballed or nobody knows him and he's not allowed to work in the industry, Cat can do what he wants to do. And he really ensured that the bag is his. However he wants to make it, it's completely his. And let me charge up this really quick. He got it. Cat got it. If y'all ever doubted him for what he had going on, don't worry about him. He fine. So Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory experience was a huge bust. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this story, but if you're not familiar with Willy Wonka is, I think, something from like our parents' childhood. It's a story about this kid who gets to visit this chocolate factory. Google that, right? But it's a very colorful story. There's a lot of like, I mean, it looks like a wonderland, basically, like if you haven't seen the movie. And what we're looking at right now looks like somebody that woke up in like a meth lab. Like this is not the Willy Wonka experience at all. And so these folks made these very elaborate invitations. They were colorful, and they created them, and they targeted children and families. Of course, parents who saw, the Willy Wonka movie were intrigued and wanting to go, and children love candy. So all these people showed up. To their horror, they saw like some poorly half, like, look at the grommets on this little setup. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor, but above her head, you'll see where they created a divider with just a piece of plastic there. And let me set myself up over here just in case. Everything just died, honey. Dead. And yeah, they had people that had like, different color hair and, just like weirdos, like little alien people. I don't know what to call them, but they were the chocolate factory people. And this doesn't look like that. This looks like they went and got somebody off the street. This looks like a meth lab. And look at her face. She probably was irritated because people were like mad at her and asking her questions and going off on her, right? But it really didn't represent well. But it was a part of these immersive experiences. I don't know if you're going through this in your work camera. I have two cameras here. So like all over the country, there are like these immersive experiences. Like for instance, let's say if I make an immersive experience, perfect example. So like I want to say like a few years ago, there was like a Friends experience. And then there was a Coming to America. Coming to America experience was so awesome. I actually have this video on my channel. That was like 2016, 2017. And they created the McDowells in the movie. And so you go in there and everybody's dressed up like the McDowell employees. And then you see true to life relics on the wall as if like the Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall's character worked there. So these experiences happen in LA a lot. So something like this going to a place, especially outside of LA or New York or a place like that where these things are pretty common, you can go to a set and stuff like that, would be something that someone would want to attend, right? And let me see where it was at. It was in Scotland. So this wasn't even in America. So they wanted to go. And look over here. You see, okay, you can see that cursor. See how beautiful this is? They created these invitations via AI. And you mean to tell me when I get there that this is the BS? Like, you can see this empty hall that was, they had like little faint backdrops and just random stuff. It was a bust. It was a horrible experience. And they got dragged so much. It was pretty awesome. So February, what happened here? What happened to my beautiful thing for Angela? I had a lovely little situation here. We'll have to figure that one out. So we know that the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Yes, we do. And I mean, I'm not a fan, but it was a notable moment. But there were some cool things that happened that year, like Usher. Like it's funny. Like it was so long ago. I don't know if you guys remember, but like Usher was up there doing his thing. Like he was on roller skates. Does anybody remember that? I was actually arguing with somebody last night. Like Usher, do you remember Usher did the Super Bowl? And they were like, "No, Usher didn't do the Super Bowl." Yes, he did. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He absolutely did. a second. Uh-uh. I love my Angela Bassett one. Let me see if it, because y'all got to get this because she was, hmm, maybe this picture's not coming through. The magic of being live. So I see it on my Mac, but I don't see it here. But what I will do is put something else there. But one thing about Angela Bassett that y'all should know is one, though she is a celebrated actress, she has never won the Oscar. Can you believe that? She's never won. And she's been our choice for being the leading lady, the mom, like just so many roles. And it just kind of became a joke. Like, wait, what? Like, oh, she not. It's kind of similar to me, like, as it is to like Beyonce not winning, like, was it Artist of the Year? It's like, really, bro? That's really how you feel? Give me a second. Bam. You gonna get it. Angela Bassett. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Won the Oscar. She did. It was an honorary Oscar recognizing her decades long impact on film and television. So it wasn't for a particular role, but given to her for her service and what she does. And she was ecstatic. She was very proud. And I mean, you win it, you win it. That's it. So she's deserved it so many times over. I'm just happy that they finally got their ish together and gave it to her because she's so deserving of it. And I don't think that a lot of us really talked about this. I don't remember what specifically was going on in that news cycle, but it wasn't really put out there in mainstream media. I feel like a lot of us knew about it here, but not so much everywhere else. But yeah, the Super Bowl performance was pretty awesome. I remember thinking like, oh wow, like I want to learn how to skate, and I bought skates. I've tried. I'm just not made for it. It's just not for me. You know how you get on your skates and you kind of feel that need to lift your legs, your feet up for some reason. Next thing you know, you fall on your back. That's what I do. That's what I do. But it was, I think it was a really nostalgic performance. He also did a little duet with Alicia Keys, and there was a cute little hot moment where he comes up behind her and she's got like that red bodysuit on. Do you not remember this? And I'm thinking like, Mr. Steal Your Girl, like he is, that man he is a sexy man. And in person too. I've seen him perform. And he's tallish. He's handsome. He's a cutie pie. Definitely. But this is funny. Do y'all remember this? So I never know what Killer Mike does. Do you guys own any of his albums or anything? Like I don't ever know what Killer Mike is bringing to the table, but he's always winning awards. So Killer Mike wins 3 Grammys, right? He wins for the best rap album, best rap performance for scientists and engineers, best rap song for scientists and engineers. I don't know what these categories are for, and I don't know if these are the awards that go to everyone before the show, because they have that too. But so basically he has like this amazing sweep where he wins all these awards, and then he gets arrested, which was so random. Like as soon as because as the awards were on, some of us are watching to see who's winning and stuff like that. So I remember going to the internet, I don't know for what, but then seeing this headline that he was arrested right after. So apparently it says here that There was some confusion around which door my team and I should enter. We experienced an overzealous security guard, and there were no charges against him. The charges were dropped. But can you imagine that somebody felt some kind of way at work where they were like, arrest him, and he got arrested? Like, she probably felt very vindicated, but like, what the hell? It's kind of like one of those rage moments, like wherever, I can imagine, especially with security, you know, thinking that people are entitled, probably not even knowing who he is. And he tried to get through a door. And it was like right before he went up on stage, like right before that. So you can imagine he's like, all right, I got to get to the stage. Like, excuse me, pardon me. And she was like, And then he gets arrested. My whole thing is like, did you guys think that you guys were doing like the Lord's work when you were arresting him at the Grammys? Like he had to give his Grammys to someone else? Like it just doesn't make any sense. And I'm glad that he was able to work through it, because that's just foolish. This is like one of my favorite moments at the Grammys.
If you know what, I'd love to hear you sing along. This is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's called Fast.
So I'm not going to play it all. But Tracy Chapman and Luke Combs did a duet of Fast Car. I love Fast Car. I love it so much. It's a beautiful song. And their rendition was awesome. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. But it was really, really great. Tracy Chapman looked just the same. I mean, she and he look like they were the same age. She is well into her 50s, if not touching on 60. The woman is gorgeous. So that was a beautiful moment, I thought. What is the skincare routine, Tracy? Victoria. I got to get this picture. Y'all got to see it. So what I'm going to do instead, because I don't want to refresh. Do you see that? Let's see. Doing it live. Okay. You gonna get it though. That's what it's gonna be. There's that one and that one. I think you'll see it load now. There it is. Victoria, okay, you're getting this live. Thank goodness I have design skills. She actually won I believe 3 awards, and yeah, she won for Best New Artist, Best R&B Album, and Best Engineered Album, non-classical. Very good year for her. She earned 7 nominations and walked away with 3. That is amazing. I heard someone said that she does like Empire or Star Music. Have you ever heard of that before? Like Empire Music, like the show Empire, or that show Star. I don't know if you remember the music that was on that show. And I was like, ooh, like for one, I guess that could have been a whole genre. And 2, I was like, what a nasty thing to say. Cause I was like, what? But you know, she was actually discouraged by that at one point because people said her music sounded like the show. And I was thinking, who wrote the music on the show? And because there was an actual album. Because I remember downloading a song that I heard on Star. I liked that show. And what I heard was that Lee Daniels wanted the girls to like tour and they were all over it or whatever. But I was like, yeah, that's kind of weird. But cute. It's cute, but it's weird. March, you already know what it is. Okay, Beyonce dropped Cowboy Carter and set everybody on fire. The peoples was mad. I have a couple notes here. She had collaborations with other prominent country artists. The artists were Shabuzi, Brittany Spencer, another young lady. Oh, I forget her name. It starts with a T. Tan something. She's also collaborated with a few other artists for the Beyonce Bowl. She just did her thing. And it's really sad that she won nothing at the CMAs and received no honorable mention. Like, sometimes I wonder, like, are we living in a simulation? Like, this world is just this world does not deserve a lot of people. I'm gonna say that. But yeah, she definitely, I would say, enriched the genre's diversity. And not only did she partake in this and do her thing, but she gave back. She literally she took hers and passed the plate. Like, that was amazing. I want to see her. I can't wait to see her do this with, if she has her rock album, if she does anything alternative. I can't wait. I support that. I support you going against the grain and saying, you're not going to stereotype us. You're not going to put us in a box. How dare you? And pull people in along the way. A true boss lady, guys, creates other bosses. That's what we do. That's how we do it. And we get it done. This girl right here, first of all, celebrated songwriter. So many hits. Also, not only did this song, the song was written for her son, by the way. I heard her talk about it last week. And I was like, because I listened to the words and I was like, what is this song really about? Like, is this a lover? What are we talking about? But I think that, knowing that she wrote this for her son, it makes so much sense. And if you're not familiar with this song and you've heard it online, Twin, Where Have You Been? That's all you have to say. I've seen this song be embraced by so many different races, ethnic groups, nationalities. We had little Chinese ladies doing little cute videos on the internet. Like, this song crossed all the lines. And there are times where I hear Black music and I'm like, this song should have been an anthem, like a song that everybody embraced. And are people really that caught up where they won't embrace a song just because a Black person is singing it? Like, huh? But this was one of those songs. And I mean, I don't know who we credit for this. Maybe I think it's the TikTok, because it bled into everything. I'm just, I'm in awe of these kinds of things that everyone kind of takes a hold of and, feels like they can relate to it. Who else has songs like that? R. Kelly songs, man, they'd have them songs on like, like little small radio stations in the middle of nowhere, and you hear, I believe I can fly. You like, the hell is happening out here in the middle of nowhere, driving through like middle of California or just some old dusty town where I can't find a radio station, and I run into R. Kelly and I'm thinking, oh, okay, I just found another, hip hop and R&B station, and they start playing and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess. So yeah. Viral song, I would say one of the biggest viral songs of the year, if not the biggest. I might, I'm going to say it. This is probably number 2 to another one I'll show you, but I was going to say they're probably neck and neck. But this was very, very, very pivotal. And I think that Twin, Where Have You Been will be a part of the language, the lexicon. We will be adding that to our slang, if you will. You know what else happened? Diddy's homes got raided. Kind of came out of nowhere. I don't think he knew about it either. Came out of nowhere. But boom, bing. Yeah, Diddy. Yeah, Diddy. Diddy's homes were raided, guns and ammunition, drugs, and large amounts of baby oil and lubricant related to alleged violent sex events dubbed freak-offs were found during the raid. The children were there at the house. Diddy was nowhere to be found. I think he's actually on his way somewhere. And so the children were hemmed up. It was a scary situation for some of the relatives seeing the children hemmed up like this. Also, and a huge eye opener into what the heck is going on at his house. Yeah, it was very, 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 very strange stuff. Really quick, you guys, let me. But it was, I think for a lot of people, I'm going to talk while I do this. For a lot of people, it was like kind of the beginning of like a revelation of like, Diddy's not that soft and cuddly guy we thought he was. No, he's not. He's not. He absolutely is not. It was not. Yeah, a lot of things have been said about him. Lots of rumors. We've got 20 plus years of rumors. No one ever really confirmed it that we would actually have listened to be honest with you. There was just a lot of fodder. You had a growing genre of people that work for Diddy that were telling the tea on YouTube, along with some people who were a little unhinged, also adding to it. But it just seemed like these worlds collided because you had like Gene Dill and these other people like saying things about him. It was like, really? And then when this happened, they were like, see, I told you so. So we started to pay more and more attention to what these folks were saying. I think a lot of people started to feel like they could breathe just a little bit, just a taste, because it was like they're on to that guy. The guy isn't all that he says he is. And yeah, we're just gonna do this together because that's what's going on. That's what's hot in these streets. Caitlyn Clark. I actually work on a sports podcast, and I really love this image. I hope that I can fix it. So Miss Caitlyn, definitely did her thing this year. Let's see if it's gonna come through. It's not. So I'll find another one. Don't worry about it. I got you. We're gonna do this together. I should have turned this into a damn tutorial. I mean, I really should have just said, you know what, everybody open your books with me to or open your Canva up with me. Never a dull moment. I figured this would be more less taxing on my CPU. Oh, well, that's the facial expression. Well, nonetheless, she broke a 50-year-old record. What's that record? We're about to get there. She broke the NCAA's all-time scoring record for both men and women and on March 3rd, surpassing Pete Maverick's record of 3,667 points. She also broke the NCAA single season three-pointer record against Penn State on the 8th. I was saying about the podcast that I work on. I'm a producer for it, and we're always talking about Caitlyn. They're young men. They play sports as well, and I've learned so much about sports working with them. But even more so, we delved into a lot of content, and we've been doing this for a few years now, about women's sports, and a lot of it at first was, to be honest, was negative. Right? It wasn't really like. It wasn't treated the same as like the content on the other sports, but with Caitlyn's emergence and Angel Reese and other people, it was like a lot. They were putting more, it was more serious takes. I'll just say that. And they were becoming more and more respectful of the artistry and what the girls were putting down. So I became a fan along with, I think the world, because hey, I'm not I don't do this. Like, this ain't my thing. So, I mean, I learned a lot about her, and I'm very fond of her. I'm very fond of this young lady. So, if you haven't paid attention to any Caitlyn Clark stuff, because there has been things said that, you know, down color lines, some people think, you know, well, she's getting attention because she's white, etc. Sis has paid homage to the Black athletes that have come before her. And she is very clear on that. These people were the people that she was looking up to. And there's some people that don't like that. And it's like, it ain't for you to like. This is her life. This is her profession. She's a solid athlete and a great role model for other athletes. Baltimore Scott Key Bridge. This was tragic. It was a disaster that happened in March. The bridge collapsed after being hit by a container ship. It resulted in the death of 6 workers that were on the bridge. Following the incident, the ship's owner and operator agreed to pay $102 million to settle a civil claim brought by the U.S. Yeah, so a somber resolution, but a resolution just the same. I'm not sure. That's just the U.S.'s suit. I don't know if that represents the families, but yeah, very, very tragic. They not like us. Nah. Oh, where have you been if you know nothing of this beef? Oh, this beef has changed the landscape of hip hop, and damn it, we were ready for it. Drake has had the industry in a chokehold for so long. It was to the point where people were just like bowing down, not even going at his neck. While people have tried, somehow, some way, Drake always comes out on top. This ongoing feud between the two giants was intensified this year. They sparred via several diss tracks and public accusations. I would like to think it was a little bit of old school rap and a lot of bit of the reality TV tea that we see right now. It was very scandalous, very rude. The tension reignited in March when Lamar's verse on Future's song like That took an aim at Drake and J. Cole, questioning their positions in rap. Hello, hi. Yeah. And Drake fired back with a few songs, push-ups, and tailor-made freestyle, escalating the feud. Shouldn't have did that because Lamar responded with Euphoria and 616 in LA and Bang 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 with Not Like Us, and that right there shut the whole thing down. Very proud of him. Very proud. You know who else was doing things? Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. I must go and I must find. This is very interesting. I'm glad that the money wasn't on the line. What if I had an amazing presentation that I had to do for somebody? Oh, I would figure it out. Well, you know, our girl, Taylor, and, you know, a lot of people are fans of Taylor Swift. You can't really leave Taylor out of the conversation when you talk about major moments, because Taylor has been a femme fatale doing her thing for many years. I did move on to G Unit, but I didn't want to do that. I'm gonna fix that in a second. Give me a moment. Give me one moment. So weird. Like, why is it doing that? Okay, so there she is. Hey, girl. Hey, Taylor. She released a double album called The Tortured Poets Department. And although everyone that likes Taylor liked the album, I remember seeing some memes where people said it's the longest album they've ever They were like tortured his rights. But yeah, she was in a happy place. She was with her man. They were doing well, and so, Taylor's doing what Taylor was doing, making money. This right here, G-Unit Studios. I've heard a scandalous take on this, and I haven't done any research, so I'm not sure if I'm really going to speak on it. One sec. I got my Martinelli. So look. So, in April, he launched his G-Unit Studios to expand his reach into film, right? Television, digital media. The studio is set to create content, obviously, building on the success of the show Power, for those of you guys who are enthusiasts, and other ventures, but largely positioning him as a key player in the entertainment industry there in Louisiana. Well, here's the tea. So I spoke to somebody who's a filmmaker who has alleged that because he's built this, he gets like tax breaks and all kinds of stuff. Like it's likely he gets some kind of rebate. Like if you build something or you film something in certain areas, then you get money back, right? Like a grant or something like that. So they were supposed to have started production on some things. This person said that they were supposed to be a part of that. Now, I don't know if she is being creative with the details because her deal hasn't done anything. And I'll just say that because I don't know if it's over for her yet. But she was saying that she believes that nothing is going to happen there or nothing's happening there because it was just a money grab. That's what her words were to me. I have not done research. I don't know. Like I said, it's alleged. And here's one thing I do know. In working in this business, anytime someone says, yeah, we're going to get started on this date, I just be like, no, we're not. In my head, like, no, we're not. We're not going to get started on this date. I'm not going to believe it until I see it. Like, if it's not on my contract, then it won't get started. Like, I've been so close into selling shows and stuff like that. Everything's fine. Everything's good. Everything's good. And I'm like, I don't believe you. I won't believe it until I see it. I won't get excited until I see it. I won't tell anybody until I see it because things change all the time. So while you can build a whole studio and have everything looking good and ready to go, there's so many things connected to that in hiring people, permits, and all kinds of stuff. Plus, you're in a place that doesn't have like an active industry. Like if he did this here in LA, then there's tons of people who can find jobs and start stuff there. So you got to start somewhere. And I'm not saying that they don't have a film industry there. I'm not saying that it's a living, breathing ecosystem like it is here in Los Angeles. So perhaps that's part of the problem because you have talent there, but you still have to bring talent. And I'm not talking about actors because that's obvious. I'm talking about the people that make these, that fill those spots. Like the, producers, the directors, the accounting people, the human resources, the licensing people, like all of that stuff. All those people need to be hired too. So maybe that's what the issue is. But, I was plenty excited when I heard about this and what's happening in Vegas too. I know a lot of people feel like the industry is dead here because we're still struggling from, the strike. Like our things still haven't opened up the way they used to. But like next year, things should be different. I mean, right now, things should be different. This is usually a busy time of year for us. So hopefully everybody's ready to go and pilot season can get off and the girl can get some auditions and work on some projects. So yeah, anyway, G-Unit Studios.
I'm looking for a man in finance, trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes, finance, trust fund, 6'5".
Best viral lyric of the year. I know you've heard this a whole bunch of times. This is the girl that did it. She was just freestyling. The more you hear it, kind of the worse it gets, but those first few seconds sound good. And then I'm sure you've heard it like mixed with some other music and stuff like that. But she was just playing around and it went viral, like stupid viral. Like it's everywhere. But yeah, this is the gal that did it. Her channel's called Girl on the Couch. Total eclipse of the sun. It got very dark. Can anybody name that? Little Shop of Horrors. For those that don't know, hello. We had an eclipse and we had so many warnings on we had so many warnings on the news. I mean, I was shook because it was happening during the day. And my son, you know, they have recess. And so they were like, do not look at the sun. Do not look at the sun. They went and found some people that had looked at the sun and they're like, I could still see the eclipse and it burnt a hole in my retina. And it had me shook. I was like, we gotta find the glasses. I'm looking on Amazon and they were like, there's some fake glasses on Amazon. I was like, oh my God, like what? And the glasses on Amazon were like $20 a pop. They look like the old school 3D glasses, the paper ones we used to have for 3D years and years ago. Oh my gosh. So I was so stressed out about this eclipse because it was supposed to happen midday. Now they outlined like this line and down the US that we're going to be able to see it and those people were going to be in total darkness. I still assumed that we were going to get a sliver of that. It was daytime. We did not get total eclipse in Los Angeles at all. And I don't think that we knew that until a few days before. Like for some reason, I think people really thought that we were going to be somewhere in the darkness. And I know some people that drove out to places to experience that. I don't know. I didn't really check in to see how that was. But my son was able to get glasses from the classroom. So the teacher provided the glasses. And I think by the time he got home and I was like, did you look at the sun? Did you have on your glasses? He was like, yeah. And he wasn't even like jazzed about it. And when it was happening, I have like blackout curtains. So I was like, I'm not going to look. I don't have the glasses, right? So I was like, I'm just going to look online and it looked like the sun. It just looked like the sun. It was nothing special here. But maybe you had a moment. But it's always these things where they're like, you get you all ready and riled up and excited, like the blood orange moons and all that kind of stuff. And it don't look like nothing. Yeah, Ebonics. It don't look like nothing I asked for. It's not. But it's a nice idea. But yeah. Okay. Moving on. Oh. Why? I wonder if I need to refresh. Maybe I'll just refresh. No, because I don't want to mess it all up. Wait. Let me do this. Okay. Since we're gonna do this live, we might as well. I'm such a perfectionist, and so like I take this personal. Like, why is it not working? Okay, I'm gonna refresh it, which is a part of I think getting out the willies because I used to do stand up, and I would say it's one of the most frightening things you've ever done because you're in front of everyone and you have to be not only you got to be in your head and also present with the audience at the same time. That might have actually fixed it. So in some way, sometimes it reminds me of that. I think I got it. Okay, I see everything because I don't want to waste your guys' time. We're just damn near putting it together with you. And we'll put this together as well. And let's design the thumbnail, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the eclipse. So I see. I see it. We're good. Everything is good. Let me go ahead and just set everything up. I'm using OBS if you're curious. A lot of people use StreamYard. And I have a StreamYard account. I just, it's just the techie in me that wants to know how to do things myself, I think sometimes. It's like, I don't want to have to rely on you people. I want to do it myself. Okay. So I'm going to do present. Aww. We're back. And there it is. Yay. Okay. Tinashe's nasty. Nasty girl. Nasty girl. Nasty girl. Oh my gosh. I remember when Tinashe was very, very young. When I first started here, I did PR. I did PR for 10 years. So that's what kind of locked me into the game. I just bored myself. But anyway, I remember doing a celebrity kids fashion show. And that's how I met Bobby Brown's boys and Kirk Franklin's son and Tinashe. There's a few other people there too. And another one of those, we did something with, what's her name? I love her work and I see her face, but I can't think of her name. It'll come to me. But Tinashe was like, I want to say between 11 and 13. She was a cutie pie. And her parents knew that she was going to be somebody. They had already been working with her. She had songs and stuff like that. But, I didn't really see her really hit until she became an adult, which was weird because she got started really young. I guess maybe they just wanted to find the right thing for her. But I like the song. The song is fun to dance to. But yeah, it's interesting to see where people end up. And she's a pretty girl too. She reminds me of a friend of mine. I had to throw these two in the mix because, first of all, I was sad to hear about Tia and Corey's divorce. I really was hoping that they had the picture perfect relationship that they talked about. I did. I really wanted it to be what we thought it was. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, I really wanted it to be like this little, I met my man and we're going to be together forever. Like they are a cute couple and they're cute. Like they're little cute people too. Like they're little tiny, not super short, but they're petite people. And they match. And I feel like sometimes, and I don't know Tia. Okay, I don't know her personally. But I feel like she's too smart for her own good. Like that kind of person. I can relate to that sometimes. Like, you're just just shut your mouth sometimes. You ain't got to say all that. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you got a hand on this, but why don't you wait till everybody catches up? Sometimes. So I feel like the things she said about her relationship were true. And I feel like she felt that in the moment. Have you been there where you like, I feel like I've outgrown this situation. I feel like there's something else out there for me. Yeah, right? That could be true. This could be the time or not. Because while there's stuff out there, this may not be the time that you're supposed to experience that. Or you might have to go through a lot to get to that person. And I'm not saying that anybody should settle, right? But in my opinion, by watching her show and seeing her social media stuff and all the fallout, stuff from the family and everything. And I don't really believe that. I honestly don't believe that stuff that they're saying that the family didn't invite her to, the Thanksgiving and all that. I really don't. I mean, I just think that people probably just don't get along. I don't get along with my sister. Shit. I don't want to be in the same room with her either. It don't mean that I won't invite it. I'm just not going. But, like even that stuff too, it's like there's a lot going on. She's a regular person and everyone's been in their business so much. It's just kind of funny that they're making her out to be like the bad guy. And I don't know if she is or isn't, but I think she regrets the divorce. I think she does. I don't know. I don't know them, but and it didn't last, I won't say it didn't last. It didn't take long. And just a little advice. We should never know. If I'm going to sit here and divorce you, I want you to know that you'll never know that I have any kind of feelings about it. I am going to put on a brave face. No one forced her to tell us this stuff. The crying and the tears on the show. In actuality, and I just now thought about this, Tia might be giving us that because she wants some sympathy, and I don't think that that's the way to go either. Because somebody has to be the bad guy. And Corey is not giving bad guy vibes, even though he might be. He's not giving us that. So why are you setting yourself up for you to look like the bad guy and the narcissist? I said that out loud. So yeah, he's a cutie pie. He fine. Look, so I'm like, girl. And man has already probably moved on. This song went viral. I don't want to concentrate, baby. I'm that one. Yeah, I was gonna play it, but I can't. But it's yeah, you've heard it. Yeah, it's everybody was using this, and I was like, who is this person that sounds like this? I was surprised to see this little white man. I was like, oh, look at him. Funky, blue-eyed soul, I guess, huh? Is that what they used to call it? But yeah, I don't want your home pain, baby. It's a lot. I know. Women's basketball. Yes, I'm gonna learn y'all. Y'all gonna be able to walk away with some facts. You're gonna be able to have these conversations with your friends. Hey, by the way, did you know that South Carolina's women's basketball team, led by Coach Don Staley, did indeed finish the 2023-24 season undefeated, right? Yeah. Capping it off with the national championships. You're gonna look very cool at parties. Now, this is a story that we covered. I did not know anything about basketball, like I said before I did this podcast, but sis did her thing. And when a team comes together and they do what they're supposed to do, you attribute it to the coach. The coach is the one that's getting these girls together. I hope we see this woman doing her thing on a larger scale. Nothing wrong with her doing it at the college or collegiate level. I just want to see more, sisters raise up in the ranks, whether that's men's basketball or women's basketball. But, she did a really amazing thing. It was a remarkable achievement, I think. They say there was only 10 teams that have been able to have a perfect season. A perfect season, guys. Yes. That's what she had. Mate. This felt like it was so long ago. I was like, did I just make this? I was like, was this 2023 or 2024? I really had a moment where I was like, what? Yeah, the footage was released for this and confirmed what we were thinking about Sean Puffy Diddy Love Combs. And it was later argued in court that perhaps the footage was edited, and it had to be because otherwise you'd see the whole thing. But they were saying that they may have like piece different parts together and stuff. Like, I think there's a point where he picks up a vase or something, but he doesn't throw it at her. And they were like, but he didn't throw it at her. It's like, but he kicked her and he chased her. I just now noticed that he had on striped socks. Did you look at that little leg there? You a little tyrant. Anyway, yeah, this was not a good moment. This was actually pretty savage. And a turning point, unfortunately. And fortunately. These two things happened in May. Well, looky there. Because Bennifer had been together. They had rekindled their relationship since 2021. And all of a sudden, y'all break up? I wonder why. I wonder why. It just boggles the mind. You know, not too many people have spoke on the timing of their breakup. Though we've seen been stressed out. He been stressed. He been over too. But what I tell you, as soon as that thing released, he was looking for a new place. He literally bought a new home, I think within that month, or yeah, I think April, May, he bought a new home. I think there's a relation there. That's all I'm saying. And let me say something else. Especially since it's probably no one's probably gonna watch this part. No, I'm just kidding. Of course you are, because I'm entertaining. But here's a thought. Karma is not supposed to be like a thing that you put on people, that you sick on people. Like, I can't karma you, I can't weaponize God against you. Like, that's not for me. That's not within my wheelhouse. But sometimes I think, while it was alleged that Jlo was there that night, holding the gun, witnessing activities, people being SHOT, I often think, like, you did have a good life. You have a great life, but maybe what you really want, you can't have because of the karma. It just crossed my mind. It's not but she really, 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 really wanted this man. Look at how her eyes are closed. She made an album and a movie and dedicated to this man. I've seen the movie. The movie was cool. But like, this woman, this was a healing situation for her to get him back. And I kind of looked at it like, okay, she's like, I got everything. Have you heard of that theory of the black cat? Like, there's this dog and a black cat. It's like this thing on TikTok. Look it up. And the woman like says that that the person in the relationship that's the mysterious, like the black cat, the alluring one, the one that just kind of slides in and slides out, and you're just happy to be in that being's presence. That's the one that has this magnetism. And like the dog or the puppy, you know how dogs are real happy to see you. Hi, I love you, you're everything. Like, in this photo, who's the black cat? Who's giving black cat energy? Nope. You gotta give different energy. This relationship was never gonna work. Plus, she gotta figure that thing out with Diddy. Whew, Met Gala, fun stuff to talk about. Yes, yes. Dripping in avant-garde brilliance. The sisters were coming and they were not playing. Zendaya had some amazing fashion moments this past year. What's his name? Last name is Roach or something. That guy right there. That guy. The guy who dresses her. Amazing stuff. They did a really I wanted this for Sky Jackson. I did. I just wanted, this is how you grow up. These Disney stars and these kid stars. You start dressing like a grown up. You don't start taking clothes off. You don't start acting like a hoochie mama. You start showing them that you got it. You got style and grace. Beautiful, beautiful work. The sisters did not play. Tyler looked cute. This dress was made out of some kind of hard fibrous material and they needed to carry her upstairs. But she looked cute. I liked it. I was afraid for her when they lifted her up. I did not want it to break. It kind of made me think it was like a cast, made out of like the cast that you get on your limbs when they're broken, but I don't know. She's smiling, so I think she's okay. And Cardi B. Cardi B was the talk of the town. They had so many men needed to fluff out the dress. They had to carry her up the stairs as well. This was a beautiful dress. Cardi B keeps setting the standard. And who knew? Like, Cardi B? One thing about this I do remember is that she did not say the designer's name. She said she couldn't remember or something like that, which is crazy. Please write it in your hand. You can't wear something like this and then forget the designer's name. I think between that and the jewelry, the jeweler, the big huge emerald she had, she didn't it was like, girl, this is the moment. Like, this is why we dress you. We dress you because we want the notoriety. How can you deny that? You can't be so absent-minded. So, definitely an A for the dress, but a freaking F for not citing who dressed you. And her people should know better. Maybe it's not for her to have it in her head, but it's like, please thank JoJo for the dress. Thank you, JoJo. Like, come on, y'all. Y'all know how this works. But you'd be surprised how many people don't want to credit their makeup artist or their hairstylist or the people that dress them because they don't want to lose them. They don't want to lose them and they don't want other people to wear the stuff that they wear, which is crazy to me. It's so common. Some of my best friends are makeup and stylist people. They get dogged out so bad. So anytime I feel like those people can get in front of the camera and become, little celebrities in their own right, I encourage it. I highly encourage it. I actually want every person that styles someone, that does someone's hair, does someone's makeup, to create their own presence, because you could get boxed out so fast. It's scary. It's so scary, especially in this business. Yeah, no one heard about this. I don't think anyone did. But y'all recognize Dominique Dawes, former Olympic medalist over there? She joined former Walgreens CEO Rosalind Brewer, and you see Will Packer over there. You guys know him. And a guy named Rashawn Williams. He's a venture capitalist, and they became limited partners for the Falcons. And that's a pretty big deal, right? We're talking about women in sports, and I think that these types of partnerships are definitely a step forward for Black women breaking barriers, is becoming entrepreneurs and owners with, sports franchises. That's what's up. I love it. I was real happy to see that. We need to encourage this. We need to encourage our daughters who are athletes that, Okay, so you want to go play ball, fine, but like let's think about what's going to happen after the fact. Like where do you want to land? Like where do you want to be? And it's not always about being in front of the camera. Like what do you want to do for the rest of your life? Like how do you want to impact the sport? Because that's honestly the only way that we're going to make a difference with treatment of our players is being in positions of influence. How do we do that? Infiltrate. Infiltrate. Dang it. You got to get into the system. You got to get inside, slide in the cracks. June. It was a brat summer. Did y'all know that? It was a brat summer. I pulled from several resources and I was like, who is Charli XCX? They call it a brat summer. I'm thinking this is for the Generation Zs that might be watching. Maybe you can help me out, but I did this for you guys. I could also ask my kids, but they'd be like, "What are you doing? What are you talking about?" President Claudia Sheinbaum. This is the first woman president of Mexico. So elated to hear that Mexico has its first female president. I thought for sure America could do the same. If Mexico can do this, the US can do it. Moving on. Bad Boys Ride or Die. This year, the Bad Boys franchise made a triumphant return, y'all. We brought the action-packed world of Miami's most iconic duo. That would be Will Smith and mother-loving Martin Lawrence. They reprised their legendary roles, and this was a funny iteration, I guess you could call it. And it was good to see Martin with his, improved comedic timing. And I say that because it kind of seemed like there was a moment where things were kind of out of the loop, but definitely learning to appreciate this new space that Martin is in. Martin also went on tour, a short tour this year too. So he ain't playing with y'all. He's still working. Stop playing with him. And, they had awesome banter, a lot of action, that sort of thing. Will Smith ain't playing with y'all either. Stop playing on his name. And happy to see the bros coming back. One thing I like about Will Smith, and maybe y'all don't really recognize this, but Will said, I may not be the one that you call when you need your action, but I'm gonna do what I want to do. And I do what I like. So I love that he's in spaces where he's like, I'm gonna do what makes me feel good. And he's not still trying to pick up where he left off. Sometimes some roads close. You don't keep trying to get in that same spot that you were in. He's always going to hit with comedy. He's always going to hit with action. I would love to see him fight some aliens, though. I do. I prefer my Will Smith out of space. Or at the end of or Armageddon Will Smith. But if this is all he'll offer, fine. But I'm looking forward to when he's the only one left. That's the Will Smith I can get into. And Armageddon Will Smith, child, that's the one. That's my favorite. Did y'all know that the BET Awards in 2024 was the most watched Black event in America, with over 3 million viewers. They were also at the top of the award show list this year as well. They ranked pretty high. I worked the BET Awards from 2006 to I think 2009. Like when Viacom bought BET, They still used us that last year because they wanted to know how to run the show. And then next year, I did not get a call back. And in comparison to other award shows that I worked, Soul Train, Celebration of Gospel, I think that's it. BT Awards was the best. It was the best. For a lot of reasons. And this was before they turned it into like this whole weekend bonanza, the BT experience and all that kind of stuff. Like this was prior to that. But I was able to experience the first year of that. Viacom really amplified it that next year. But I've gone to the award show, as part of like, working with clients and stuff like that. It's different. It's not the same when you're working with the show, then you're able to move like on the carpet, in the green room, media rooms. You have access to where all the, people, the production. It's not like there's a ton of celebrities hanging out backstage. It's not like they're all in some like holding tank. A lot of them are watching the show. But, it's not the access you think it is, right? But seeing how a show is run, if you're into that, that's always fun. Seeing what happens like when everybody's walking around with their awards, like in the green room or the media rooms, and seeing what they say, like that's the kind of stuff that I liked about it. I liked that. And just, hearing how well the show was going. Oh my God, we lost this. We got to do this. And so can't read it. So I got to read it again. It's just that kind of the chaos. I miss the chaos. I did enjoy it. But here's my problem. I'm setting all that up to say this. How is it that it's so many years later and we're just now reaching the top most watched Black event in America? What was number one prior to this? What was it? Like, isn't this a given? Shouldn't the BET Awards be the most watched Black event? Like, what is? And if you guys if this is the first time, then I think while it's a celebration, at the same time, it's like, what have you guys been doing wrong? Whatever you guys have not been doing where it's an easy win. It's called Black Entertainment Television. This is the BET Awards. Like, you should be number one every year. And this is why I just always have thought like BET is the only network that claims that they're for the people, but don't care about what the people want. How are you not number one at everything you do? When Black entertainment is in the name. Just like, what? You want me to congratulate you? Like, I thought you were. I thought you were hitting it every single year. I never would have known. Y'all should have told me. Because now, look, now I got some suggestions. Let me get my pen real quick. Because this don't make any sense at all. Like, you want me to congratulate you on something that's already supposed to be yours? Cut it out. Arrested. Yes. Arrested. Yes. Walk of shame. Enjoying it. Enjoying every blunder this man has. Hi, my name is Cecily. I'm a hater on Justin Timberlake. That be the truth. I have not been a fan of Justin Timberlake since what had happened with him and Janet Jackson. It's a problem. And while we're here, I want you to go and watch this documentary. Well, hold on. I got homework for you. Okay. So I want you to watch. Where's it at? It's on Hulu. Okay. I have a few here. They're calling it malfunction, but that isn't it. Is it this one? Okay. So it is called Malfunction. That documentary basically breaks down how that situation happened to the both of them. She claims that that was not the intention, that they did rehearsal, they did all this stuff, and none of that happened. That though she believes it was an accident, she also believes that they both should have received the same amount of vitriol. And I'm not gonna tell you everything, but it's not that she retreated and she was embarrassed and that was it. You know what I'm talking about, the Super Bowl wardrobe malfunction thing. Janet's music was suppressed on purpose. The people that worked on that show were fired, many of them to never work in the business again. They sabotaged her albums. Sabotage, not just like whatever, and then the world turned on her, the industry turned on her, and they pushed this mother effer forward. How come everybody else got grounded, but he was amplified? Like, huh? And his little sorry ass apology, and then, okay, I'm out. And so between what he did to her and baby girl, what's her name? The one be dancing in circles all the time. What's her name? Brittany. I ain't got it for you. I ain't got it for you. So when he was arrested, I think he was in the Hamptons. Is that what happened? He was in the Hamptons. He was driving. Driving while intoxicated in the Hamptons. Arrested in Sag Harbor. A little after midnight. Police said he ran a stop sign, veered out of his lane, and when they pulled him out, he smelled of alcohol. And there was a clip where he said, "This is going to ruin the tour," and ignore the last part of that sentence. But that phrase has been repeated in so many funny memes. I've been on TikTok and seen, just random stuff, and people were like, "This is going to ruin the tour." So yeah, like, you're a meme, dude. And to top it all off, I don't know if you saw him on the harness, but yeah, keep it coming. Keep it coming. The harness pictures were hilarious. Justin, I'm not effing with you. I'm over it. Arrested. Done. We're done with you. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show. Friends. The pop out happened on Juneteenth. So mad that I did not go. Had an opportunity to go and I didn't go. It was celebrating Juneteenth and Black music. It's such a fun time in LA. Juneteenth celebrations are so awesome. If ever there's a time that you are coming to town, you want to know when's a good time to come into town, I would say June is fun because you're on the heels of, not necessarily the heels, but like you're coming during a time of the award show. And if you want to get tickets to the show, they have like, what do you call them? Seat filler type things and free tickets. And then you also can buy tickets to go to the show. But then they have other stuff around Juneteenth. And a lot of times Juneteenth and BET Awards are like a week apart. So there's a lot of things that happen here. You have to plan. And I would suggest that you not expect your LA friends to have all the hookups and all them things, because everybody descends on this town. Everybody. So everybody wants to go somewhere cool. Everybody wants to go somewhere fresh. And a lot of promoters are just doing something for that week because they are catering towards the industry. So things kind of shift a little bit. But if you have money and you're willing to spend it, then you could get into some really cool stuff. So yeah, we have quite a few concerts and things of that nature that happen around town for Juneteenth. And you also have stuff that happens because of what was I gonna say? BET Awards. So yeah, if you haven't seen the footage, this is the concert where Kendrick is on the stage, and it's like a rectangular stage, and you can see a 360 of the audience, and he featured over 25 West Coast artists, got Ty Dolla Sign, YG, Dr. Dre. He performed his diss track, Not Like Us, 5 times in a row. The audience did not whimper. The audience did not cry. They was here for all 5 of them. And I don't know if you've ever heard the song, like the full thing, but it is a marathon in itself. Like trying to dance or trying to do something to that song, you're going to have a little bit of a burn. And 5 times to me is just to the point of oblivion. Like, I'm no longer here with you. I'm in a trance. He hypnotized those people with that song. That's all I'm saying. But it was crazy. It was absolutely nuts. The song itself was at the number 1 on the Billboard charts for 21 weeks. The Billboard's Hot Rap Songs chart. Yeah. This is one for the books. This was an amazing moment. Like, I always wonder, like, what inspired you to write that? Like, what were you thinking? Like, yeah, this is golden. We'll be singing Not Like Us for years to come, for sure. For sure. Can't wait till he performs it at the Super Bowl. Yes. So what is this, you ask? Okay, well, that would be my alma mater. California State University, also known as Sac State, was one of the first schools that were given the designation of a Black serving institution by the Department of Education. This happened in 2024 when people were talking about taking CRT out of schools and all this other stuff like that. This happened here. This happened here in California, basically highlighting their commitment to supporting Black students. I would say Sacramento, 'cause I'm from there. I feel like it's funny. People feel like Sacramento is 50-50, like it's 50% Black, 50% white. That's not true. We have a very large Latino population as well, but we have a decent amount of Black folks. When Oakland was Chocolate City, because Oakland used to be mostly Black people, believe it or not, it was a glorious time. Folks that could not really, okay, I'm going to give you full history, but a lot of people a lot of Black folks migrated to California by way of the armed forces. We used to have a ton of Air Force and naval bases, and army bases up and down California. And obviously there were tons in the Bay and in Sacramento. There were 2 Air Force bases in Sacramento. And then you've got one that was in, Travis and Vallejo. And then you've got, other bases up and down the coast. And so a lot of Black people migrated to California by way of that, right? And so a lot of those bases closed and some people moved away. Some people became civil servants and the Bay Area became pricey. It was always a little bit more pricey because obviously it's prime real estate. It's the Bay. But it became very pricey after the .com boom. So when tech companies started to inhabit Silicon Valley, a lot of people could not afford to live there anymore. If you weren't on the wave of technology, working in technology, you could not live there anymore. So a lot of Black people migrated to other areas. So tons of people moved to Sac. And then a lot of people eventually moved to Atlanta and other parts of the country. You get that for free. All right. But nonetheless, I went to school, I went to Sac State, and I will say, I can't say exactly that I felt like I was supported because I was a Black student. I didn't really feel that because I don't think I was just there enough. I was one of the commuters, if you will. I didn't live on campus or anything like that. I was an older student when I finished up, but I I have heard a lot of Black students say that they felt that the support from the administration, and if you get involved with like EOP and other groups, could be really instrumental. And FYI, Sacramento is capital city. So that means that's where it's the capital, obviously. But we have a lot of government, state agency jobs. We have a lot of infrastructure. And so, the programs are plentiful. So if you are a student of need, like there are tons of programs that are there to help you. And it used to be, I don't know what it's like right now, but it used to be as long as you do what they tell you to do, like, okay, get in this program. Like if you do well, you're going to get a job, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. Like it's a much more straightforward life. Not like the one I live here. It's not that. Yeah. So, but working in state government stuff, that's something I did too many years ago. It's another life, another story, child. What are we doing? Serena Page. Do you know this girl? So Serena was one of the people on Love Island. Love Island, I didn't really know much about until this year. And I would say with Serena and Cordell, they were the love story. And they really, especially I think Serena captured hearts with that argument she had with Cordell on the dock. I think a lot of people really saw her as a breakout star in that moment. She was raw, she was real, she just very likable too. And the thing about these shows, a lot of times, our Black girls just they get treated pretty bad on these shows. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch these shows when you see the same crap play out over and over again. So you just want more from him. Like, girl, I don't want you to be with him. And I want your life to be fabulous after this because this was embarrassing. But so yeah, Serena landed some pretty awesome opportunities after the show. She Beyoncé did a deal with her, did some product review type stuff or whatever. Fenty did something with her. She is also hosting a show called Love in the Wild. So she's going to be a host on a reality TV show. And she's also like an insider in the beauty industry. So there is something, you can get something out of this foolishness, right? And we love to see our girls win. So Serena, handle your business. Do not allow these people to play with you. Viral song, Water. Can you believe this came out in July? I've heard this song so many times. I feel like this was, sheesh. I feel like this song came out like years ago. And there's also like this male singer's version of it. I love it. Like, so I downloaded it from Instagram and sometimes I listen to her version. I listen to his version. It's very sexy. Wish you had somebody to dance with when these songs come on, don't you? Saying in my head, the way I be breaking it down, too much, and I'm done having children. So, yeah, Tyla doing her thing. This right here, I didn't want to put this in there, but I figured some of y'all might actually remember this. But Mu Ding, he's a baby pygmy hippo, born in Thailand. Internet sensation. So cute. He's so cute. He looks slippery and wet, and I would not think he was cute. But some of you guys thought he was adorable, and maybe it was a slow news day, but that's what it was. And we ain't gonna forget. I mean, I know you didn't think we were going to forget. Vice President is the way I should have wrote that. Miss Vice President, Madam President. Oh, Madam Vice President. Kamala Harris. I'll stop playing with you. Kamala Harris ran for president. And it was a historic run. Historic. History was made, yo. It was. She announced her campaign on July 21st after Joe Biden withdrew his bid for the election earlier that day. It was all on the same day, yeah. Harris's campaign quickly became one of the most remarkable in presidential history. The prospect of electing the first Black woman president energized supporters. It energized a lot of people nationwide. Her campaign shattered records, raising $81 million in just 24 hours, and ultimately reaching $1 billion in total contributions. Okay. In a defining moment, she delivered a commanding performance against the Orange One in their debate, and through facing significant challenges throughout her campaign, Harris persevered with characteristic of grace, and I would say that that would sum up the whole experience. A lot of grace. Maintaining her signature silk press, yes, an infectious laugh. Okay, the silk press was always pressed. If you let me write it, I'm gonna put my spin on it. So yeah, it was an amazing run. That's all I'll say. Amazing run. And I hope right now that she is sitting somewhere like, oh, I'm so glad that I didn't. I just hope that she's just like, girl, I'm actually glad I didn't win. Because it was a whirlwind. Can you imagine? Like, was that a dream? Are we in a nightmare? Are we going to wake up anytime soon? Viral song TGIF by Glorilla. I love her accent. It's so cute. I think she's adorable. I don't want her to change. Please do not modify yourself if you can help it. You don't need to. You are good the way you are. I love her enthusiasm. She seems so excited, so happy. Like you can see her genuine happiness of like being in this space. You know, everybody just kind of act like especially here, I'm a star. I'm a this. It's just so cool to see someone saying, I'm just so happy to be here. Like, I just can't believe it. Like, that's just, you know, because you feel that way. And some of these stars or whatever just act like, oh, I was born like this. I was born ready. Like, no, you wasn't. Stop acting. But I like her. Is it her humble attitude? I like her humble attitude. She's a lot of fun. August. Did y'all know the Biebers had a baby? They had a baby. The babies had babies. Or a baby. Bieber had a baby. In May, after months of speculation, Hailey announced that she was expecting a baby with her husband. She started rocking her maternity style and all that kind of stuff. And it was, you know, kind of the subject of attention. And they welcomed their little one, Jack Blues Bieber. Jack is a cutie pootie. Oh, they're so young. He's so cute. And I know they're having some troubles right now. Stay off of Instagram with the foolishness. Y'all so silly. Oh, my God. They're so young having these babies. Now, you know, children can ground you. Make you realize what's really real. Protect that child at all costs, y'all.
You see how I do my makeup for work? Very demure, very mindful. I don't come to work with a green cut crease. I don't look like a clown when I go to work. I don't do too much. I'm very mindful while I'm at work. See how I look very presentable? The way I came to the interview is the way I go to the job. A lot of you girls go to the interview looking like Marge Simpson and go to the job looking like Patty and Selma. Not demure.
Not demure. Who is that, you asked? Well, you know, very demure, very mindful. Viral sensation, Jules LeBron. Jules LeBron. That's her. She dropped her How to Be Demure at Work video in August. And just August, my goodness. Again, this felt like last year. Where you? Right? Yeah, there's a camera. felt like last year. Crazy. Viral sensation, went on all the shows, did all the things, started selling merchandise. Like, it just went crazy. Had a few blunders. Somebody actually, like, submitted a copyright application for her saying, which is crazy. I hate people. I do. Like, I think they got it back. But yeah. Some old wackadoodle dude, man. Anyway. Jules. You see these things and you're like, I want something amazing to happen from this, and I'm not sure how she's been able to make money outside of selling things on her website. But yeah. We're still saying it. We're still saying demure, mindful. There were quite a few people that were resistant. And it's funny because I remember those people were like, the word demure is it and and then they started to use it. Like, you cannot resist it. We've heard it so much. Like, it's still, anytime I'm like saying very, I want to say demure. And if I don't say demure, I might throw in mindful. The programming is deep. Jesus, I need a detox. But yeah, Jules LeBron, hopefully we see more from you, Jules. Give us something, babe. Figure something out. She's got a cute personality. And, you know, she was a makeup person, like a beauty insider, putting makeup on, what a beauty tutorial type of chick or whatever before all of this. And so it's not like she just started. So my thoughts are, you become one of those people, you know, like the Jeffree Stars or something. Maybe start your own makeup line. I don't know. But I tend to think that folks like this are wordsmiths. Like, they just know of really cute ways to say things. And so, like, maybe you might become a writer, you know, or a singer, songwriter, something. I don't know. Hell, let's go. Black women dominated at the Olympics. Why am I highlighting them? Because I'm a Black woman and I like to talk about Black women as much as I can. So if you don't like it, you can turn this video off. But yeah, our sisters secured 60% of the teams, the USA teams, gold medals. The sisters were in charge. Okay? That's what it is. Just so you know. Sha'Carri did her thing too. There she is. She won her first gold medal. After I think she wasn't, she was denied the opportunity to participate in Tokyo. So she was able to get her gold and won a silver as well in the women's 100. Another lady, let's see, Julian Alfred? St. Lucia is, oh, that's in that particular race. But to say, that's not USA. What was y'all doing? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Sha'Carri, doing things. Man, this girl is so fast. Simone Biles, she had a triumphant return as well, and she won multiple medals. Y'all gonna leave this girl alone about her hair. There's more to life than having nice hair. Stop. We are more than our hair. We are not our hair. Okay? We are not this skin. We are the soul that lives within. Stop. Stop it. It's embarrassing. Well, this is not the title of this at all. This is silly ass Rachel Reagan. Remember her? She's the Australian breakdancer. And she sucked. I'm going to leave Simone Biles' triumphant return because I don't want to give this woman any more attention than I need to. But this old hack a doodle performed in the Child, they said round robin. Is that the move, or is that how the number of competitions? She was a breakdancer in the breakdancing portion for the Olympics. And here's some tea about the breakdancing part. Some people assume that because this wackadoodle did this little foolish stuff that they weren't going to do it again. It was a trial run. They were only going to do it for this election, for this Olympics only. That was the plan before any of these mofos showed up. But they put in there, but if it does well, then maybe we'll be open to doing it later. It still was not a confirmation. It still was not a, if it does well, we'll do this. It was like, if it does well, we might be open to having another conversation about doing it in the future Olympics. Don't get excited. It's going to happen. Maybe never. That's exactly what the energy was. And my cousin is like an educator in the hip hop space, and she's also a part of the Zulu Nation, I think. So she's deep into it. So they were really pushing to have the breakdancing at it. When they shared the music was crazy. Who listens to this music? Like, this is not hip hop music. It's not breakdancing music. So that was crazy in itself. It didn't look anything like the breakdancing that is native to LA, native to New York, the places that it originated from, depending on who you talk to. But it definitely came out of these corners of USA. So when this wackadoodle gets her silly behind up there and does all this stuff, people felt like she mocked hip hop, basically. And they were very critical of her and said that she was disrespecting the sport, which I agree. This could have been an SNL skit. So there was a petition that 40,000 people signed saying that she manipulated the selection process by creating her own breakdancing governing body, which she did. The Australian Olympic Committee denied these claims but faced scrutiny over her qualifications. She literally was on the board that elected her to be the person to come out and do this. She apologized for the backlash, but I even saw her do an apology. And when she got home, she was like, anyway, like and then she did some stupid shit in the street. So it was kind of like, the controversy sparked debate about Olympic representation and fairness and criticism. And it really, to me, opened up that, at the end of the day, it really, to me, I found it brought the Olympics down to a very low level. All this time I've had this, viewpoint of who and what the Olympians are and what they represent. And to me, it was like, and then here's like the breakdancing talent show where y'all can just figure it out. I really felt like they did not put respect on it. Therefore, heifers like her was able to slide through. So, yeah, while I did not do the title like that on purpose, it'll stay like that because I don't care about her like that. Bringing us to Jessica Hyatt. Did you know anything about Miss Jessica? She's a 16-year-old chess master. She was competing in this world chess competition. She is the second Black woman to ever hold this title. And it's a very prestigious title. This is not a game where little girls like her are really even have access to. So it's a significant milestone for Black women, especially a Black woman playing chess. Like, we heard nothing about Jessica. I know you didn't hear anything about her because where would we hear it? So my goal is to throw a little flash in the pan, if you will, every once in a while, because you'll be a better person for it. September. Who the fuck did I marry? Reesa Teesa. Have any of you guys watched her stuff? Reesa Teesa created 50 videos, a 50-part series talking about her ex. Her name is Teresa Michelle Johnson. She gained massive attention with her viral TikTok series. It actually premiered in February. And the reason why I have it here later is because she has since sold the rights to her story to ABC. And Natasha Rothwell, you guys know her from Insecure, is set to develop the TV adaptation and will serve as the EP and lead actress. Okay, like bang, bang, bang of the series. The series has not only reshaped Teesa's life, but opened doors for her in the entertainment industry. And they say just post it. They say just post it. And she did. The story was fun to watch. It was 52. I said 50. Sorry, 52 videos. It was in a playlist. The debut video amassed over 27 million views and accumulated over 40 million views. Y'all already saw it. Y'all don't need to see it anymore. You've seen it already. Yeah, it kind of puts me in mind of that Zola. Remember when Zola was on Twitter? And we all watched that story about these strippers having a crazy day and stuff. Man, when I saw that movie, I was so irritated. I went back and reread the Zola threads. I was like, sleep. Put me to sleep right now. I was bored. So hopefully they do this justice. And Natasha Rothwell is she's a writer. So, and she's a comedic writer. She's a writer, like in the business. So I'm thinking that they will handle this story with care and it's going to be epic. Her timing is so good. I love that girl. She's so good. So it's going to be fun. All right, Reesa. Teresa. Okay, when I talk to my boys, the boys in our podcast that they are sports boys, when we talked about the year in review, they love this girl. Not this. They love this girl. You gotta talk about her. Haktua, whatever. Her name is Haley Welch. It's hard to believe that this happened in September and now this girl's name and face is everywhere and she had a little meme coin that went nowhere and I hope that she gets sued. Wow, 15 minutes, almost over. This little girl gained instant fame after a street interview where she offered some cheeky relationship advice. Her popularity has led to her life being forever changed. Merchandise sales, she has a podcast, and she threw the first pitch at a Mets game, which is crazy to me. But yeah, she also launched her first meme coin. I think that was in late November, early December, and allegedly some people lost their life savings over that coin. I'm saying allegedly because I don't have proof, but people said I lost my life savings because there was a rug pull. And she acted like she didn't know what was going on. So I guess she figured she gonna get all her money before they close the door on her. Remember when we were talking about immersive experiences? So this was the second one. This one was here in America. Unfortunately, this was done by a Black woman who was an event planner in Jesus, where was it? In Detroit. First of all, if you're gonna try to defraud some people, don't do it in a place like Detroit. Don't do it in a place don't do it in a big city. Do it in a small little place where nobody is going to have access to the TikToks. They call this the Bridgerton Ball. That woman is on the floor. She has given up. I feel like she was probably thinking if everybody feels up, then it will feel like a Bridgerton ball. But they needed more than what they had. They had like no real aesthetics. They had no no set design, if you will. You need to have that. I imagine, I'm looking at the building, the crown molding. In a way, I could see how someone says, oh, that feels like it's royal, but it's not royal enough. Now, there are some buildings that you go into, like the building is so dressy, then absolutely Bridgerton Ball it is, right? Where the building itself is even more beautiful and decadent than the people that show up. This was not that place, though. This looks like a community center room. And you mean to tell me, like, even with the photo booth, like, you guys couldn't dress it up with some, just like something. It just didn't, it wasn't hitting. And this woman was publicly shamed, and it was rough for her. But again, I always think these things are funny because I'm just like, the invitation that you get in your mind, you have this expectation, and you get there and you're like, the hell is this? What is this? Why did y'all do this? Aja Wilson made WNBA history. She was the first player to score 1,000 points in a single season. That's an amazing feat. The moment came when during the Aces 84-71 win over the Connecticut Sun. There's 2 WNBA games now. Now you got something you can tell your friends. They're going to be like, oh, she's so worldly. She knows a lot. Wilson dropped 29 points that night, which sent her over that 1,000 point mark. That's amazing. Again, these are moments that we would not have seen if it weren't for the new batch of girls that are coming in and shaking things up. If you look at that place. That place is filled to the brim with people. Filled to the brim. Like, they're changing the way that people interact with women's basketball. And my daughter played basketball. She went and played, in college and that sort of thing. So I think I do have a kinship, with women's basketball. I didn't really like it, but I liked that my daughter had something that she was very disciplined about. So learning more about it has made it pretty cool because I can have conversations with her about it. And she's like, oh, you're learning things. I am. Cardi B gave birth to her 3rd child, and also, well, I won't take away from the moment, but yeah, she's had her 3rd baby. And I think the baby's name is Blossom or something like that. But yeah, babies are so special. Having children, those first few years are so awesome. So yeah, she's in her little nesting phase. Hopefully this was a peaceful time in her life, because we know that it has not been so peaceful in the past few months. But, she's out here birthing babies. She's a married lady. Do not shame her because her children were born into a marriage. Okay. Y'all can talk crap about Cardi B if you want to, but she was married when she had them children, okay? She got a husband. Whether he's a good one or not, I don't know. But don't play with her. Don't play with her. She had her wig on like, you will not catch me. Love it. What you say now? What you say, Club Shay? We started off strong with Shannon. I think I had a pretty good intro. And then here we are. There was an explicit video leak. Luther Vandross has a song called My Michelle, and I think he sings in French in it. Have you ever heard of that song? I hear it all the time. KJLH loves to play this song. And when I think about when he says Michelle in the video, it makes me think about Luther's song. Look it up, My Michelle. It's very sweet. If you've never heard of it, I think it'll be one of your faves. Anyway, Shannon Sharpe made headlines when he accidentally live streamed himself engaging in sexual activity on Instagram. The live stream quickly went viral, attracting widespread attention. Initially, Sharpe claimed his account had been hacked, but he later admitted the leak was authentic. Addressing the incident on an emergency episode of Nightcap with former Bengal star Chad Ochocinco, Sharpe expressed deep embarrassment and remorse over the situation. Then he created a shirt with Michelle's name on it on the website. Then he was afraid that ESPN was going to fire him. And then people started to criticize him for, one, lying about it, saying that you were hacked, two, owning up to it, but apologizing, three, now selling merch. It's like, sir, which side are you on? So he took the merch down and got very defensive. And then he started like cursing out black women on X. But that part, you know, we'll ignore all that other stuff. But got very defensive about it. He was talking about somebody's wig or something. It was very anti-black. It was an embarrassing moment. I made a story about it, and there were some men that were very, very upset. The vitriol was real. The men were in their feelings, typing their little heart's content. My take was trying to benefit from it by selling the t-shirts was in poor taste. You were worried about losing your job because you got caught up in a situation. So you apologize, like, leave it there. So you like, oh, the coast is clear. Let's make some money. No, there's no integrity. What are you doing? Like, stop. Grown ass man. And the bros were not having it. They're very, very bothered by it, by my take. And to that I say, thank you. Thank you. And you're welcome. So yeah, I think Monique brought it up when she was on the show, interview with him, and so did Kiki Palmer. I'm trying to think who else. People have mentioned, and oh gosh, I can't remember her name. There's quite a few people that brought it up as a joke. He's been a good sport, and so, you know, hopefully he can leave it behind in 2024. Now, some people say, I don't believe that you went live on accident. I went live on accident the other day. I had my phone in my hand, and I don't know what I did, but I looked down and I saw that I was going live, and it was just recording the ceiling, and it was only for a few seconds. If you could hit that live twice, if you can open it up and press it, you can get there. Because it was in my lap, and I was just like, how did this happen? And I wasn't posting a video or anything. So I believe that it can happen, especially if you're on top of the phone, you're pressing the phone, you can hit in that right spot. And if they were tussling or whatever, then, you know, it's possible. It's possible. Come on. The New York Liberty won their first WNBA championship. Remember that, because again, we're trying to learn you. You're like, there's too much sports, Cecily. I don't like sports. Neither do I. But it happened. And so did this. Hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs was arrested on sex trafficking charges. We saw the arrest happen on the news, actually. He was asked to come to New York. I think he was in Miami at the time. And he was supposed to go to the precinct the next morning. They decided to come and get him that evening, and they stopped him in the lobby of the hotel that he was staying in. He had spent the day walking around and interacting with people and that sort of thing. Lots to say about that. Lots of stories on this guy, but we're going to keep going. So, October. Cecily. This is definitely not Tyson versus Paul, but we all know this is Liam Payne. Liam Payne passed away on October 16th after falling from the third floor balcony of a hotel in Buenos Aires. 5 people have been charged in connection with his death. He was one of the singers of One Direction, if you don't know who he is, and it's really unfortunate what happened to him. It was thought at first that someone may have done something to him, but it has come out that he fell. and it was accidental. Celebrity lookalike contests have been all the rage. And this is like the weird part of the internet that I don't want to participate in. Very strange stuff happening here. But I guess Timothy Chalamet did something. And so he shows up to the competition and everybody's like, oh my God, that's so crazy. So then it like inspired all these other contests that happen. Harry Styles had one, Drake had one, Zendaya had one, and even Dev Patel had one. Dev Patel? Like, okay. The Zendaya one happened in Oakland. I would love to see that. Like, I'm like, how many people look like Zendaya? Like, that would be interesting. But yeah. And it's funny because like these are unauthorized gatherings and stuff. So they've shut some of these things down and they've like threatened to arrest people and stuff. So it's like, get a permit before you guys do this. Cause they're doing it in like parts, parts where people gather in town. And it's like, you need a permit for that. Stop doing stuff like that. Just, you gotta organize. Tyra returned to the runway, Victoria's Secret fashion show. It was interesting. There's like the floor opens up, she's lifted up, and then she starts walking. I thought she looked good. Some people were criticizing Tyra, especially because they felt like Tyra, it was so hard on the girls on Top Model that karma came back to bite her, and they're making fun of her weight gain and she ain't still got it. And it's like, she's 50. She's not a model anymore. Like, what would you have her do? Be in model shape for the rest of her life? I don't get that. Oh, now you're big. And what's crazy about this is like, I look at the pictures and I'm like, you're big too. Like what? Like, what is this? I don't get it. People as they age are going to age. That also means that your metabolism has changed. Tyra Banks has everything afforded to her that all these other people have too. You don't think that she can get nipped and tucked and get a new face like everybody else? She can afford it. She know where to get it. And guess what? There are people who are willing to do it for her for free just because they want to do something for Tyra Banks. She looks this way because she wants to. Now, I know sometimes she talks about how gaining weight has her feeling some kind of way and stuff like that. I don't really believe it. Because you can change it if you want to. The resources are there for you to do it. I get the revelation of like, oh, now I have to maintain. I can't just show up and just be me. That's a different mindset. But if you wanted to change it, you could. So my whole thing is she doesn't want to change it because she hasn't. She's not like you and me. This woman is wealthy. This woman has access. This woman also can do whatever she wants all day long. And if it's a mental thing, she got access to the best of the best of the best that can help her in that realm too. So Tyra, if you ask me, looks like this because she wants to. And I'm not mad. I think she looked good. And I think she's a heterosexual woman. I think that the opposite sex is feeling that too. Got nice little boobies. She's got the nice little shape. The hips are popping. The face is flawless still. Throw on a wig and we're done. So I don't know what the girls were expecting. Did you think she was going to come out in angel wings? No, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I don't. Don't do it. I don't want to keep your clothes on. No wings. Just say hi and keep it pushing. These pictures always piss me off. I was a pregnant person before too, so I can say that. I've never took one of these pictures. I don't know why we do these pictures. Like, I just be immediately uncomfortable when I see that. It's just a baby, a basket of baby in your ribs. But yeah, some people love to showcase the belly, and Miss Lady was showing off hers. She made, for those of y'all that don't know, this is Sky Jackson, and Sky Jackson was a former Disney star. She announced her pregnancy on November 12th in an exclusive interview with People magazine alongside her mother. And in the interview, she shared her excitement about embracing this new chapter in life, motherhood, right? And while the announcement wasn't that shocking because we already knew, the identity of the father was more notable. DeAndre Bergen, also known as Yerky Yerky. Yerky Yerky had made a couple of announcements himself, kind of spoiling the fun of her sharing that she was pregnant. And I'm not going to repeat what he said because that's just, if you want to know, go and find out on your own. But the relationship has stirred controversy. It has unfortunately shown some negative sides of her personality and created many a think piece in the blogosphere and beyond. Been in relationships with people in categories that could be like a Yerky Yerky, maybe not as bad as far as I'm concerned, but you know, the kind of guy that you probably wouldn't want your daughter to get pregnant by, let alone be in a relationship with, let alone have their phone number. But you know, I agreed. I've seen some sides of Sky Jackson that I didn't know existed, and I don't know how this fares for her career. But if I were to put on my public relations hat, I would say this relationship is not doing much for your image. But if it's all about love and loving the one that you're with, then who am I to say to go against what you feel on the inside? Because this might be the love of your life. I don't know. And I remember being young and deciding love or my career, love my career. I was like, love for sure. I would have, this version of me talking to a younger version of me, career. So I think this is just something she has to go through, and I hope she doesn't do too much damage to her career. Plus, there's a baby coming, and once the baby comes, a lot of times everything just kind of like smooths over. But you know, you don't want to ruin your image, and people want to feel comfortable working with you, and not thinking that a ticking time bomb will follow you. Kendrick again. Yes. Kendrick dropped a surprise album on us. We didn't know it was coming. It was like Christmas. Just when we thought that the feud couldn't get more intense, Kendrick said, "Hold my beer." He delivered yet another stunning surprise on November 22nd. He teased a little snippet on social media, and then dropped that 12-track project GNX. Let me see who he wrote. Hitter Jr. I can't say that name. SZA, Roddy Ricch, Squabble Up, shot up to number 1. Mustard. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have heard that, right? That's definitely a Kendrick Lamar Jean. Yeah, good stuff. Lots of good stuff. I haven't heard the whole album yet, but I heard some of it yesterday. In fact, he's the type of artist you gotta like pull out the lyrics like online. I want to know what we're saying. Like, I'm just not gonna just start rapping with you. I want to know what we're talking about, and I will study the lyrics. to get it. I just haven't had the time. But yeah, it's been an amazing year for Kendrick. I love it. I love the energy. I love how the industry is changing, and I'm hoping that there are young women and men at home that are inspired by what he's doing. We need more conscious rappers. We need people who are talking about something. I am done with the mumble rap. Wicked. Yes, the film adaptation of Wicked became one of November's most anticipated releases. Who knew? I'm a fan of Wizard of Oz. I am an ultra fan of The Wiz. I can recite the Wiz movie backwards and forwards. I know all the songs. Like, that's my jam. That's my jam. Okay. So naturally, I was like, Wicked could be for me. What's crazy is the Wicked played at Pantages, and I've never gone to it. I've never gone to the show for years. For years. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just theater. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed because I was like, I have not experienced Wicked, and I am a Wizard of Oz girl. So I went in there with no knowledge of like the play or what take on this story would be, and was blown away. When you see those memes of people that are like crying in all the movies, that I don't know if you saw, like they're like crying at the end, like I was like, I'm gonna be a mess, and I was emotional, and probably at the parts that you wouldn't expect, but I really did feel for Cynthia's character, Elphaba. The movie had a spectacular opening weekend. It earned 114 million and secured the year's third biggest debut. Y'all know Cynthia Erivo and you know Ariana Grande. I don't need to say much about them, but they both received Golden Globe nominations and are being considered for as Oscar contenders. And I agree. I agree. They did the damn thing. Beautiful voices, colorful, everything. I mean, right down to like the costumes. Everybody needs to win. In front of the camera, behind the camera. I want to see the costumes. I want to see the special effects folks. I want to see everybody take something home because this one was beautifully done. They're saying that Cynthia could achieve EGOT status with an Academy Award win. That's amazing. She would probably be one of the youngest, right? I want to see it. Yeah, this was a good one. They also, I think, even though I didn't write this on my notes, I feel like this is also the most tears shed for any any press tour. These two cried and hugged and held on to each other. This was an exhausting experience. Watching their press tour was unnerving. It alarmed a lot of people. It made a lot of people upset. They thought that the press tour was overshadowing the movie. I don't think that it did. I think it was just enough to just get you right there. Like, it was like, oh, I'm kind of irritated. I'm kind of aggravated. And then just got you right up to like, all right, let's turn on the damn movie. Oh, okay. It was like, all right, okay. I get it now. I kind of get it. But I feel like if we had 2 more weeks of this, I think we all would have just turned this movie off. Like Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Like, I don't ever want to see that film. I don't know what the name of the film is, and I'm not interested. There's no way you could pay me to see that film. You know what else I didn't watch because the press tour was a drag? The Color Purple. You will not. The Color Purple, the initial one, is my favorite. I read the book. I owned the book. Okay, I've watched it when I was a little girl. I had no business reading that book or watching it. Like, that's how dedicated I am to that book. When I tell you that the controversy with Oprah and the monies and all that, I was like, you will not get, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching. Y'all done aggravated me to the point where I don't even want to be bothered. Because I'm going to be thinking about her paycheck while I'm watching the damn film. So y'all have to be careful with these press tours. Like, I don't know what this is about. I feel like I was going to say Monique and the lack of press tour for Precious. But Never mind, I won't go there. But the press tour is got to be right. I'm gonna check the temperature. I'm like, how are we doing in the press tour? Because if it's any kind of debacle, I don't want to watch the movie. I'm not interested. Oh, Cynthia. I just put that there because I thought the weight loss stuff and all that, I won't talk about that. Again, I might talk myself out of watching the sequel. Denzel announces that his final projects, he announces that he is going to retire. He's going to retire after these next few projects. He's going to be in the Black Panther. I'm curious. Like, are you... I think Ryan Coogler is writing it right now. So he's writing a part for him. And I'm thinking, is he going to be the... Well, he can't be the Black... Like, what is the... But you got to put him in there. You had Angela in there. And I hated that they killed her off. Man. But yeah. So I don't know. What do you guys think he's going to be? I wanted him to be T'Chaka. I wanted him to be like him coming back. You can kill people and they can come back. Like, I don't get why we acted like he can't come back. Doesn't the Joker do that? Spider-Man, Superman, like they all die and they come back. Like, anyway. I am a Marvel and DC fan. Yes, I am. I'm into it. Y'all better hit it because I wasn't really a fan of the last one. Kai Cenat, this kid right here, breaks a streaming record. He is a Twitch streamer. You've probably seen him on YouTube and other places because he's just unstoppable. He's like one of the most popular people. Him and that other Ice Speed, whatever that guy's name is. These kids are they're just off the chain. He has the highest number of concurrent subscribers on the platform. He has grown celebrity men hanging out with him. Chris Brown was doing, I think, a dance with him. They did some dance. It was kind of cute. You see Kevin Hart hanging out with him regularly. I think I've seen, who else was it? John Cena was on there. There's a lot of stars that go hang out with him. So he's kind of a big deal. And he also met with Shannon Sharp. That particular interview had a lot of criticism because people were like, "Oh man, you falling off. Like you got these streamers, these young dudes. You're gonna mess up your whole thing." And it's like, why would he mess up his platform by inviting more people that can bring more viewership? I didn't watch every Oprah show. Some of them shows, I was like, I don't want to watch that. You know, like you're not always going to watch the interview that, you know, I may not jive with you. I might be open sometimes. Like, what is he talking about? Like, I sat and I watched this whole interview and I was like, oh, I learned something about him because I was open-minded. And I was kind of interested, but still it's like, you're not always going to see the person that you like. And all the old heads in the comments, I'm calling them old heads, were like, "Oh man, you falling off. Like you got this fool right here." And it's like, he ain't no more foolish than any of these other people that he got on here. Cat Williams and Ricky Smiley and all these other people. I mean, there's a ton of people on there that you could find. I'm not saying it's something negative. I'm just saying just in general. All of these characters that show up on his show, they all have something that you could poke at and say, well, is this person a role model? Should we be hearing from this person? So my thoughts were like, Kai's, you know, is he's worthy of noting. He's in pop culture. He's a streamer. He has viewership that is worldwide. Why would he not be on this show? But yeah, those comments were brutal. I'm just like, but nobody gets that if you want to expand your reach, you have to invite people from different audiences. Like, sometimes y'all be acting like this is just your friend and you can just say like, do this, do that. Like we have to expand the boundaries. We have to think of ways to improve. For instance, the two records I titled wrong, the 2 instances where the images didn't show up, like that's something that I have to fix for next time, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like you automatically know how you have to improve your process. And there's no shame in, you know, like critiquing your own situation. I wonder about Shannon Sharp's selection process sometimes because it seemed like it was doing this for a while. Okay, so now that you've talked to every single comedian in America, what happens next? So now you talk to all the leading men, then what happens next? Okay, so now you're starting to talk to like people who's in music. Like, what is the formula? Is it just Black people? Is it just entertainment? You can't stay, you won't be able to stay in the same place if you just move, you know, in a linear fashion. Tyson versus Paul. This was a thing. Some say it was a historic fight card. Maybe. But it was streamed on Netflix, and I think that was probably the first time we've seen something like that. Maybe. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But there were 72,300 people there. That's pretty nifty. And the streaming reached a global peak of 65 million concurrent views. 38 million of that was in the US. So the other half, almost half, was around the world. So if you're wondering like why your Netflix buffered, that might be a good reason. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, like that might be a good reason. The fight itself, was it me or was like the beginning of like the walkout, whatever that's called, that little walkout, was lackluster. Like that's supposed to be the hypest part where you like, we about to remember they used to have like rappers come out like, you know, like you just hype. Man, Jake Paul came out in that car and I was like, what's gonna happen? Like, is there gonna be somebody that's gonna pop out the trunk? Like, what? Boring. And Tyson walked out. I was just like, did they tell them they couldn't do any fanfare? Because that was just like the sleepiest intro to a fight I have ever seen. Who approved it? I was expecting sparks, something. I know I didn't make this up. I was like, this is boring. Anyway, the fight, I was disappointed. I did expect Tyson to win. I don't know. I guess I did. I don't know. I mean, Jake Paul is kind of big, and I guess he's been training, and he is like way younger. But I think it would have been nice for Tyson to beat his behind and then never fight again. But I'm glad he didn't die, and I'm really, really excited that you know, that he was able to hold his own and leave with his head held high. So I believe Jake Paul was definitely a gentleman for that, because he could have probably really hurt him, and that would have been, we would have hated him. That I think he's a marketing genius, and there's something to that formula that they have over there. It's interesting to see them grow up, the Pauls. The only thing I wish is they would stop peddling this bullshit, because my son was so enamored with this drink, this sugary drink, and I'm just like, oh my God, like we were chasing primes all over town. We've passed that point for now. Almost done, y'all. We got one last month here to cover, and it's Sabrina Carpenter is known to a lot of people. A lot of us are learning about her because I didn't follow her career prior to this espresso song that she had. That's why I said introducing, but she's been a child actress. She's been around for a minute, doing her thing. She the song was on it rose to the number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. And it became a global sensation, you know? So we saw a lot of her. She had some issues with a boyfriend. I won't even mention that, you know, things happen. And that was it, you know? But I mean, I saw her a lot. And so I was like, you know, we might be looking at someone that's going to do a lot next year. You know, I like that she's inclusive. I've seen it in her videos. I sound like somebody, mama. I like she's inclusive, and in her videos, she has a smattering of, you know, but I mean, it's true. Like she makes music, I feel like, for everybody. And although I don't have a little girl in the house, like, you know, I'm very sensitive to what young women listen to, and her songs are sexy, I know, but I'm still paying attention. I don't understand the lingerie wear, rather, the lingerie and stuff. That's where I'm like, okay, this is where the child actresses go wrong, where they're like, I'm sexy now, naked, and you're like, girl. Anyway, I like her. I'm paying attention. Did y'all know Yvette Nicole Brown got married? She's a lovely girl. I've met her. I've had lunch with her. She's a friend of a friend. I don't know her personally, but I've dined with her. And my friend was very fond of her. And she lived up to the hype. Yvette Nicole Brown is a hardworking woman. Very lovely aura, lovely energy in person. And her husband seems to be the same. There's a clip of them where it's on her wedding day, and she's talking to the camera, and she says how she had to come to the realization that her father was not going to be able to attend the wedding because her father is immobile. He's in a wheelchair. And her husband arranged for her father to be there. So her father is like right there. They pan over to her father, and she's like, I didn't know. And her husband's like, and it's like, oh my God, it's so amazing. I'm the best husband. I'm the best wife. It's just so cute. And I'm like, she deserves that. Like, she's, you know, like, good things happen to people. Like, she's a woman that good things should happen. So I thought they seemed like a really sweet couple, and I hope they stay together. I hope that their marital bliss is long lasting, and that she is as happy as she looks in these pictures, and that he is, you know, looks out for her like he did in that instance, and I'm sure many more, because they're getting married, or they're married, they're together. Hence, he must be proving that he is the man that he says he is. Luigi. So much about this case. Everything's unfolding right now. There's so much we don't know about Luigi, but he is turning into a symbol of, it's obviously a controversy, but a hope that things could change in healthcare. The reality is I haven't really seen much change, but maybe we'll see something when the trial is underway and we hear more about what he's gone through and people start to vocalize what they've gone through. I've been collecting research and things of that nature on the topic and people who have had this kind of insurance, and just so that people could get a gist of like what could drive an individual to, not that I'm not working on the case or saying this is why you might kill somebody. What I'm saying is that this is the collective frustration of people that have this particular health insurance. And to be honest with you, when I'm looking, I see that United Healthcare over and over and over. I don't see the other healthcares here and there, but it's mostly, they have a very high, what is it called? What is the rate? I'm trying to think. Denial. They have very high rates of that. Very high. I mean, they've already said that, but like when I tell you, like I've got so many videos where it's the same thing over and over again, it's alarming. And a lot of those people lost relatives in those stories. So that should be coming out soon. Fox is back. If you're not familiar, Fox suffered a near fatal stroke in last April of 2023, last year. And he made his return to the stage. And what had happened was on Netflix, he revealed he had a brain bleed that sidelined him for 20 days. And before he could grab an aspirin for the headache that he had, he lost consciousness. The special is not a comedy special. It is more in line of a one-man show. He sings, he tells jokes, he cries, he laughs, he dances. He has a couple of duets with his daughter. He talks about his life. It's not a comedy show. Do not expect a stand-up show. And I think that they should have prefaced that, because people are so confused. They're like, what is this? It wasn't funny. It's like, it's not supposed to be funny. At least not all the way through. It's really like a one-man show. It's a testimonial on what he's had to endure in, healing, learning how to walk and all this sort of thing, and just his road to recovery. So it's more of a testament. And he's addressing wild rumors, that he's a clone and all this other stuff, just to put all those things to rest. I think he's trying to fortify his future. He's trying to make sure that no one is still thinking about all this stupid rhetoric that was put out there, and that I'm okay, I'm fine, and I'm ready to work. I really think it's more so political than not. At the end of the day, too, he is an actor, so the depth in which he goes sometimes, I'm like, is that you, or are you acting? I'm just saying. Tyler Perry's 688 film. I know a lot of people are not talking about this film, but if you haven't noticed, it's very high. It's highly rated on Netflix. But if you go to Rotten Tomatoes, and Google also has like I won't say a database, but they have a system like where you can rate movies, which is pretty influential, because most people use Google to go and search things. So when you're searching for a movie, the ratings show up. The ratings are very, very, very high on Google. On Rotten Tomatoes, I want to say it was in the 60 to 70 range. And this is why I think people that go to Rotten Tomatoes all fancy themselves as being film critics, and they're all pushing the same rhetoric that they're taught in film school. If it doesn't fit in their box they were taught in film school, or what their favorite, screenwriter has done, then, and a lot of times, I'm gonna be 100 with you. A lot of times it's some man, some white man that's writing those things. So I don't ever think that they are going to have the same shared experience that aligns with Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry does not have the same cookie cutter writing style as Hollywood. He never has. If you've ever attended his not his films, but his theater productions before he became a filmmaker, you will see he has more, his style is more aligned with that, more of a theatrical kind of style, than it is with your typical Hollywood film. Why they keep expecting him to conform makes no sense when he's made so much money not doing that. You couldn't tell me, you mean to tell me that once I get here and everything I've done to get me here, that I should abandon it and do what you want me to do? I wouldn't do it. If I'm making money doing it my way, I'm doing it my way. I don't have to fit in your box. I understand the importance of getting better and improving on your process. Now, that is something I think that we should all focus on. And I do think that's something he has focused on. The quality of these productions have gone exponentially up. There's not a wig. There's not a hairstyle. There's not a prop or anything. We're beyond the braided wig. We're beyond the plaster braided wig that Shamar Moore had on. We've left that in the past. And I feel like if we see that again, we know that was on purpose. Okay? But I truly believe that Tyler Perry's style is more in line with an African American storytelling style. The way that we tell stories is different. And it should be studied. And I'm sure that someone probably has studied. And I'm saying from the time that we were brought to this country and using stories to communicate with each other, to entertain, to teach, as coded language. I feel like this type of storytelling is something that we do. It is its own thing. And I think that Tyler Perry shares an iteration of it, because when you go to the heart of what he's done before, the Medea plays. I went to the plays with my mom. This is way before he was anybody special, right? These are the traveling plays when he was just going to churches. Even that, and at that time I would go to plays with my mom all the time. So I would go to like actual productions, like real plays. And so she brought me to this, and I was like, what is this? And then they would have like Christian Keys would come out and take his shirt off. This is before I even knew Christian. And I was like, what is this? Like, these are church women, and they're all like tripping out over like somebody being sexy, like body rolling. I was like, what? And stop. Sorry, Jesus. And you're like, what? Like, he's honed this, whatever this is, this storytelling style years and years and years and years ago. And it's worked for him. There's been iterations after iteration after iteration. The problem I have with Black people that have a problem with this is that he's entertaining. He's literally making his movies for a community. Why do you want him to do something that is outside of what he wants to do for his community? So you can feel better about it? I'll be happy when all of these reviewers stop reviewing his stuff. It's not for you. I'm not gonna keep looking at kung fu movies if I don't like kung fu movies, and say y'all gotta change this up. You guys gotta add some spa days on the weekends, because I like a spa day, and I don't see that in the kung fu movie. Well, that ain't for you. Why are you here? And here's a news flash. This is gonna blow your wig back. Just because he makes movies for Black people doesn't mean he makes Black movies for Black people like you. Sorry. Just because he makes movies for Black people doesn't mean he makes movies for Black people like you. We are not a monolith. Not all Black people grew up the same, and you may not get the film. It may be beneath you. It may be lowbrow to you. You may require something else. Stop checking for Tyler Perry. Keep his name out your mouth. You look crazy. Hate watching films. Do you value your own time? Do you value your own time? Go watch something that makes you happy. But at this point, you hate watching, and I'm like, you know what? You don't make good decisions, because you should be paying attention to something that makes you feel good. But this movie is fire. And I learned a lot. And it's not his typical writing style, by the way. I did have a slight problem, a personal problem, when I was like, wait a minute, because I don't want to spoil it for you. But one of the, I can't spoil it for you. But one of the characters is in love with someone, and you're like, why you put this person in here? I'll just say that. That's all I'll say. So I was just like, what is this? But outside of that, great film. Watch it. Beyonce's Bowl, December 25th. Amazing. That's it. That's all I gotta say. She did a medley of a bunch of songs. I wrote here, a groundbreaking show took place. There you go. It was on Christmas game day between the Houston, Texas and Baltimore Ravens at the NRG Stadium in her hometown of Texas. So that was nice. She did an amazing job. She was moving all around. It was a lot of activity. It was a lot. And then Netflix took her halftime special and called it the Beyonce Bowl and separated it out so that people could watch it. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. And I think we'll see more. I think we've established a precedence where we will see more artists perform on Christmas. It's a money-making opportunity for everybody around, so I see why not. They'll siphon more of our energy, more of our attention, more of our time. And I have one outlier, and this is the final one. Keith Lee. I don't think Keith Lee gets as much, you know, I won't say attention, but credit. I'll say credit. Keith Lee had the peoples in the restaurant business in a chokehold this year. Let me read what I have here. His critiques of DC's food quality and Atlanta's restaurant culture sparked fierce online backlash through tensions that eventually cooled. But this year, in Seattle, Lee's positive review of FOB Sushi Bar turned sour after viewers spotted a potential worm in his footage, leading to the restaurant's temporary closure for investigation. So he was up there eating in the car, talking, and there was a worm. And then they tried to say that it wasn't, but it was a worm. And he likely ate it. In DC, his negative experiences, including being served allergen. I'm sorry. Why did I say allergen? Allergen. Sorry. Allergen-laden food provoked public outrage and even drew criticism from nearby Baltimore residents. I'm not naming the restaurant, but it was something that he was allergic to, and he had a reaction. Conversely, in Chicago, Lee's praise of a place, I'm not going to tell you the name, transformed the struggling restaurant into a thriving hotspot, highlighting his ability to influence the restaurant industry. Actually, I could say that place. It's called Amici Chicago. You know, showing that he can have a positive influence as well. And he also did a cute little something with Shannon Sharp, I guess in Vegas it was. So yeah, like I love, he's such a weird character to me, but I love that he's turned this into a hustle, like, and he doesn't have the personality for this. Like, I would never think if he was like, babe, I'm gonna do food reviews, I'd be like, okay. Okay, sure you are, babe, whatever it takes. But he's been doing it. He's been breaking the barriers and really putting restaurants on the map and shutting the ones down that need to be shut down. Okay, with that being said, this is my year in review. Whoa, this was a lot. I did not know this was going to take this long, but I appreciate anyone that made it to the very end. We're going to be starting a live show that's going to happen Monday through Friday, where we're just going to be covering the news and other things, items similar to this. Not so much, of course. It'll be between 30 minutes to an hour every single day. Just expanding the reach and experimenting along the way, and building a community. So with that being said, I appreciate you watching the show. We've enjoyed your interactions thus far. I appreciate all the moments. By the way, I just hit 14,000. Yay. We hit 14,000 yesterday. So extremely happy to hear that people are subscribing, and every once in a while getting someone said, I'm so happy I found you. Like, that is an amazing feeling. I'm so happy I found you. It's like, oh, okay. Like, it's confirmation. Like, this is cool. It's been, mostly positive. I can't even complain. The learning the algorithm and learning how things work on YouTube alone is like, that's the hard part, but this is the fun part. The experimenting and trying stuff, trying new things and being flexible and not running and hiding when I make a mistake. But I think that the slideshow, I like the slideshow aspect. I was hoping that it being hosted that it wouldn't be so bad, but next time I'll probably do something different, but I think it was cool. With that being said, Happy New Year. It's 10:51 and I am going to bed. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for subscribing and for watching and everything. You could be anywhere and you decided to spend it with me. And that makes me feel really good. Thank you so much. See you soon. Good night.